Good evening. At this time, I'd like to ask you to please turn off or silence your cell phones and electronic devices. And we would like you to stand for the posting of the colors by JROTC and the singing of the national anthem by Cecilia Botino.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Cecilia and students of JROTC. It is my pleasure to now introduce our principal, Mr. Palladino.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's Academic Awards ceremony. A week from tonight, we'll hand out over $250,000 in local scholarships to seniors in the class of 2019. Tonight, we will recognize some of our best and brightest in the sophomore and junior classes at Wareham High School. The night will culminate with Wareham High School awarding a junior the largest local scholarship, the Stephen A. Stone Memorial Scholarship, which is a $40,000 scholarship. Before we get started tonight, I would like to thank all the parents and guardians here tonight. I know you all have played an important role in your child being here tonight. I would also like to thank the members of our school committee and our superintendent, Dr. Shaverhood, for attending tonight. I would like to thank the volunteers on the Site-Based Management Committee on Student Recognition, Ms. Abraham, Ms. Kavicki, Ms. Downey, Ms. Driscoll, Sergeant First Class Hudson, Ms. Marchesalt, Ms. Medeiros, Ms. Ullman, Ms. Peabody, Ms. Rosenfield, Ms. Salerno, and Lieutenant Colonel Stanton. They have spent hours volunteering after school to make sure we recognize these deserving students seated here tonight. Most importantly, I want to thank the students for doing what you do every day at Wareham High School. You are role models for all the students at Wareham High School to emulate. Tonight is your night to be recognized for the great work you have put forth over the school year. Thank you and enjoy the ceremony. I would now like to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Shaver Hood.
Good evening, and thank you for attending this evening's awards ceremony. Tonight, we're gathered to celebrate the academic accomplishments of our 10th and 11th graders. Students, your hard work, dedication, and perseverance has paid off. You know what it took to earn a seat in this auditorium. Each time you decided to finish your homework before watching your favorite Netflix series or answering a text, you knew, even if it was subconsciously, that your decision was a stepping stone to success. The nights you stayed up late or got up early to put the finishing touches on a project, you knew that time would be well spent and would likely result in another step closer to reaching your goal. For some of you, your goal was to maintain a certain GPA, or to be in the top 10, or to receive a certain grade on an assignment. And I'm willing to bet that for most of you, your goal was also to be the best you possibly could do. You've accomplished a great deal, and you've done very well. And for that, you should be extremely proud of yourself. We are very proud of you. So enjoy tonight, celebrate all that you've achieved, keep setting those goals high, and doing your very best. Thank you, and enjoy this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Shaver-Hood. Okay, again, good evening. Welcome to the Underclassmen Academic Awards presentation. We are gathered here to honor student achievement. Each and every student here tonight has demonstrated excellence. The teachers and administration of Wareham High School join with the parents and families in expressing our pride in their accomplishments. Our first academic awards of the evening are presented to those students who have earned the highest academic average in a specific class. They will be presented by a faculty representative of the academic department. This will be followed by the teacher awards. Each teacher at WHS has the opportunity to recognize one remarkable student from among all of their students. These recipients are a very select group, those who display outstanding qualities in attitude, dependability, and/or scholarship. After the teacher awards, the deans will present an award for a student from each class that has shown growth throughout the school year. Mr. Palladino will then announce the attendance awards, and as outlined in the program, the College Book Awards will be awarded by several faculty members. This will be followed by recognition of the top 10 students in each class, the Gold Scholars. The name says it all. These students have the 10 highest cumulative academic averages within each of their classes. This year, Mr. Powelaitis from the Wareham American Legion Post 220 will present 2 scholarships to the winners of the American Legion Essay Award. Finally, as Mr. Palladino already mentioned, a special scholarship given in memory of Stephen A. Stone will be presented to an outstanding junior planning to attend college. Now I will quickly outline the routine for the presentations. When your name is called, please come forward to the stage by way of the right-hand ramp. You will be handed your award, shake hands, and then exit on the other side of the stage. Where am I? Sorry. If you are following someone, please pause on the right side of the stage, then approach the presenter. At this time, I would like to present Mrs. Rosenfield, who will read the names of the recipients for our first set of awards.
Good evening, and congratulations to all the students receiving awards this evening. I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Amy Dion. Mrs. Dion will hand out the Career and Technology Awards. Erica Cormier, Accounting 1. Emma Fitzgerald, Business, Marketing, and Project Management. Jordan Bumpus, Careers in Child Care. Janelle Kimura, Culinary Arts. Brianna Bonner, Entrepreneurship. Jasmine Black, Fashion Marketing. Caitlin Fisher, Hospitality and Tourism Management. Molly Johnson, IB Business Management Marketing HL. Andrea Monaco, Technology Design Lab 1. Matthew Rodriguez, Technology Design Lab 1. And Grace Wen, Technology Design Lab 1. Please come forward. Thank you, Mrs. Dion. I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Kimberly Kavicki. Mrs. Kavicki will hand out the Foreign Language Awards. Olivia Nascimento, French 2. Stephen Calderola, French 2 Honors. Kyle Duffy, French 3. Erica Cormier, French 3 Honors. Kiara Lee Suarez, IB Language Acquisition, Spanish SL, Year 1. Kelsey Connolly, Spanish 2. Cecilia Botino, Spanish 2 Honors. And Emma Arcaro, Spanish 3 Honors. Please come forward. Thank you, Mrs. Kavicki. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Michael Murray. Mr. Murray will hand out the Humanities Awards. Emma Fitzgerald, AP Language and Composition. Alexander Lambert, AP Literature and Composition. Stephen Calderola, Core Academics. Ever Gordon, English 10. Andrea Monaco, English 10. Abigail Wright, English 10. Emma Arcaro, English 10 Honors. And Abby Wixton, English 10 Honors. Please come forward. Dustin Buckingham, English 11. Adriana Santos, English 11. Sarah DeLuca, English 11. Alexis Lynch, English 11. Jordan Bumpus, English 12. Emma Acaro, Film Studies CP. Alexander Lambert, Film Studies CP. Jason Lake, IB Language A1, English A, Literature HL. Molly Johnson, Literature HL. Jasmine Black, Yearbook Construction and Design 2. Please come forward. Mr. Murray will continue with Social Studies Awards. Emma Acaro, American Politics. Kyla Fulton, AP Government and Politics. Emily Bird, Death and Dying. Cecilia Botino, Psychology. Andrea Monaco, U.S. History 1. Kyle Duffy, U.S. History 2. Jeremy Smith, U.S. History 2. Alexis Perry, U.S. History 2. Dominic LaBelle, U.S. History 2. Stephen Calderola, U.S. History 2, Honors. And Jason Lake, U.S. History 2, Honors. Please come forward. Thank you, Mr. Murray. Mrs. Dion will return to hand out the Fine Arts and Music Awards. Rayanna Bonner, Art 2. Alex DeMarco, Art 2. Wayne Parker, Art 2. Siler King, Art 3. Ariana Halpern, Computer Animation. Emma Acaro, Concert Choir 2. Please come forward. Thank you, Mrs. Dion. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Stephen Rumble. Mr. Rumble will hand out the Science Awards. Molly Johnson, AP Biology. Carlisle Beach, AP Environmental Science. Ashlyn Ricardo, Applied Biology. Napoleon Barboza, Applied Chemistry. Marcus Liu, Biology Honors. Avery Gilman, Chemistry Honors. Alexander Lambert, Chemistry Honors. Emma Acaro, IB Biology SL Year 1. Alexis Lynch, Woodworking 1. Andrea Monaco, Woodworking 1. And Jordan Bumpus, Zoology. Please come forward. Thank you, Mr. Rumble. Mrs. Kovicki is returning to hand out the Mathematics Awards. Jason Klemp, Advanced Mathematical Decision Making. Layla Foote, Algebra 2. Imani Jones, Algebra 2. Jenna Maloney, Algebra 2. Kara Young, Algebra 2. Marcus Liu, Algebra 2 Honors. Annabelle Snow, Algebra 2 Honors. And Jason Andrade, College Math. Please come forward. Ashlyn Ricardo, Core Math 10, and Ashlyn Ricardo, Geometry. Ariana Finnerty, Geometry. Andrea Monaco, Geometry. Shayla Swingle, Geometry. Emma Acaro, Geometry Honors. Abigail Berrialt, IB Mathematical Studies SL, and Molly Johnson, IB Mathematics SL. Please come forward. Thank you, Mrs. Kavicki. I am pleased, Mr. Rumble returns to hand out the Health, Physical Education, and JROTC awards. Napoleon Barboza, Physical Education, 11-12 boys. Rayanna Bonner, Physical Education, 11-12 girls. Avery Yeoman, Physical Education, 9-10 boys. Jet Gorman, Physical Education, 9-10 boys. And Kylie Tebow, Physical Education, 9-10 girls. Please come forward. Thank you, Mr. Rumble. I am pleased to introduce Mrs. Lisa Oman from the Foreign Language Department. Mrs. Oman will hand out the Teachers Awards. Keegan Cahill, Jalaisha Finklia, Justin Gonski again, Cooper Goodwin, Eber Gordon, Marcus Liu, Caitlin Fisher, Joshua Flaherty, Haley Goldman, Molly Johnson, Imani Jones, Isaac Salim, and Simone Samito Gomes. Please come forward. Thank you, Mrs. Oman. And now, Mr. Rumble and Mrs. Sinelli will be handing out the Dean's Awards. Thank you.
Good evening. The Dean's Award is awarded for exemplary spirit, unassuming leadership, and an ardent commitment to our school community. This year's recipient has an extraordinary respect for her peers, our staff, and the educational process. She leads by example in everything she does. Her commitment to our school community and her contributions to her peers are exceptional. She's not one of our top 10%, but you'd think she was based on the number of times she's come up here tonight. She's certainly one of our school superstars. I feel very, what's the right word? Honored. honored to award this year's Dean's Award for the class of 2021 to Emma R. Carroll.
Good evening. One of the greatest parts of my job is watching the growth of my students. Many students as freshmen struggle. It's a great adjustment coming from middle school to high school. There are different expectations, classes, schedules, and peers to try to navigate, let alone the things that occur outside of school. Teenagers today have far more stressors in their day-to-day life than I could even dream of when I was their age. Yet watching students overcome these obstacles and succeed is inspiring. As the Dean of Students, I am often privy to the outside issues that can block my students' success. Not everyone knows what these kids go through daily, and honestly, it can be very overwhelming. I was not the dean of the class of 2020 when they were freshmen, but I remember them. I very much remember them. I started as their dean last year, and I couldn't be happier watching them grow, thrive, mature, and succeed. They're really an amazing class. The student I am presenting my Dean of Students Award to is someone who has overcome huge obstacles in his way to success. As a freshman, I remember seeing him in the dean's office frequently, and I saw a young man who was in turmoil and who was struggling to find his way. Then last year, as a sophomore, I started to see him come out of his shell more. He began to really mature and grow. His grades became better, and I rarely saw him in the office at all. Then come to this year, he is truly a different individual. He continues to overcome struggles and outside stressors, and he does so with aplomb. Overall, his grades are fantastic, and you rarely hear his name without some sort of positive accolades with it. I cannot be prouder of what he has achieved and what I hope he will continue to achieve. He quietly goes about his days and does the right thing even when people aren't watching. To me, that says a lot about one's character. Therefore, I am happy to award my Dean of Students Award to Bradford Ness. And he's not here, so I'll keep it for him and give it to him tomorrow. The first time he'll be in my office all year. Thank you.
The next award is the Perfect Attendance Award. These are students that had perfect attendance for the school year. One of my predecessors stressed to all of our staff when we first started that you had to be on the job to do the job, and these students exemplify being on the job and doing the job. First student is Grace Bajoli. Rayana Bonner, Jarrett Fernandez, and Siler King. And I'm being told Siler is still at a baseball game. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Palladino. It is now time for the book awards. The St. Michael's College Book Award for Academic Achievement with a Social Conscience recognizes an outstanding student who excels academically and demonstrates a sincere commitment to community service. Recipients must also be inductees in the National Honor Society. This year's recipient is a member of the National Honor Society, is the social chair of DECA, a peer tutor, and a gold scholar. Her commitment to community has been demonstrated through various volunteering efforts that include Toby Hospital, Damien's Food Pantry, Relay for Life, and a teacher volunteer. Please join me in congratulating this year's St. Michael's College Book Award recipient, Julianne Matthews. makes me sad. Okay, sorry. We'll move on. The Bryant University Book Award is given annually to a junior who ranks in the top 10% of the class while maintaining at least a 3.6 grade point average in a challenging academic curriculum. The student must also have a strong commitment to extracurricular involvement. This year's recipient meets and exceeds these requirements. Among being a Gold Scholar, National Honor Society, and Student Council member, the student participates in the DECA program, is the captain for the winter and spring track teams, and is on the varsity soccer team. She also represented Wareham High School at Girls State her junior year. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's Bryant University Book Award recipient, Natalia Molden. The Smith College Book Award is awarded to a student who exemplifies the same academic achievement, leadership qualities, and concern for others that characterize the thousands of women who have graduated from Smith College, an academic institution with an extremely prestigious history. The student must be in the top 10% of her class. This year's recipient is a National Honor Society member and past Junior Honor Society member. She is a class officer and a key member of the varsity women's softball team. She is a Gold Scholar and shows commitment to helping others through tutoring peers and helping younger girls learn to play softball. It is with great pleasure that I announce this year's winner of the Smith College Book Award, Jocelyn Hendricks. Mrs. Peabody will now present the Dartmouth College Book Award.
Good evening. The Dartmouth College Book Award is given by the Dartmouth College Club of Cape Cod. The award is designed to encourage intellectual excellence and recognize student achievement. To be considered for this award, the student must be in the top 10% of the class and have demonstrated intellectual leadership as well as having made a positive contribution to the extracurricular life of the school. Our 2019 Dartmouth College Book Award recipient is in the top of his class. He participates in the dual enrollment program at Bridgewater State University, taking 2 college-level courses each semester. As a middle school student, he participated in dual enrollment, taking 4 honors-level courses at the high school. While in high school, he has played on the men's soccer team for the past 3 years. He also played and led the men's tennis team for 3 years. He was the class officer, president, and then the class secretary. He participated in the Honor Bowl in both his freshman and sophomore year and is part of the National Honor Society. In addition to the multiple school activities, he gives back to the community by participating in many volunteer activities, such as the Relay for Life, Wareham Youth Soccer, Gifts to Give, and the Deacon's Holiday Fair. Please welcome this year's recipient of the Dartmouth College Book Award, Joshua Flaherty. The Rensselaer Medal is awarded by the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute of New York. It is awarded by a promising junior who has distinguished themselves in mathematics and science. If the student attends Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, they will receive a $25,000 per year merit scholarship for 4 years. This recipient is not only a gold scholar, but a top student in mathematics and science. He challenges himself academically by enrolling in the Bridgewater Dual Enrollment Program in combination with IB and AP courses. Outside of academics, he is the editor of the AV Club while he works on the morning show and films events in the community for Wareham Community Television. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate the winner of the Rensselaer Medal, Nicolo Lambovolpe. Mrs. Ullman will present the next award.
The Brown University Book Award is given to honor a junior who best combines academic excellence with clarity in written and spoken expression. Language is the highest expression of our humanity. It defines what we are and who we aspire to be. Those who use words effectively will surely be the leaders of their generation. In them, we invest our hope. To them, we accord our respect. With this award, we salute their potential. This student is not only a gold scholar, but he is also a Bridgewater dual enrollment student. In addition to his academic excellence, this student has had perfect attendance all of his high school career and is a key member of the chess club. I am pleased to announce this year's Brown University Book Award recipient, Jarrett Fernandez. Harvard University is the second oldest academic institution in the nation, and certainly one of the most distinguished universities in the world. Each year, this institution seeks to honor an academically outstanding student. The award is given to a junior who displays excellence in scholarship and strong character combined with achievement in other fields. This year's recipient is a Gold Scholar, Vice President of the National Honor Society, and a 3-season athlete, participating on the varsity soccer, basketball, and softball teams. She is also a peer tutor, student council member, and has been recognized by staff and peers for various accomplishments. Outside of school, this student has attended the Boston Leadership Institute, is a church volunteer, and a Wareham Girls softball coach and volunteer. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's Harvard Prize book winner, Grace Serrato. Mrs. Peabody will now present the Bowdoin College Book Award.
The Bowdoin College Book Awards looks to honor high school juniors who embody the values of our alma mater, extraordinary service to the common good, and an unusual passion for inquiry, discovery, and innovative thinking. Wareham High School's first Bowdoin Book Award recipient is a Gold Scholar, a former class vice president and current class secretary, and the DECA manager. This recipient is a 3-season athlete, being a member of the varsity baseball and soccer teams, and captain of the varsity ice hockey team. This student has also volunteered his time in Camp Sunshine, Hope Factory, Baby Point, and Seamask. Please join me in congratulating our first ever Bowdoin Book Award recipient, Brian Gallagher. We now have the Gold Scholar Awards.
Gold Scholars are in alphabetical order for top 10. Madison Booton. Grace Brajali. Keegan Cahill. Brooke Chandler. Adriana Dillon. James Fitzgerald. Cooper Goodwin. Janelle Kimura. Emily Roberge, who could not be with us tonight. And Ava Sullivan. Mrs. Sinelli will read the class of 2020.
Grace Serrato. Jarrett Fernandez. Joshua Gallagher. Joshua Flaherty. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Brian Gallagher. Joshua Flaherty, Brian Gallagher. Jocelyn Hendricks. Nicolo Lembo Volpe. Julianne Matthews. Natalia Molding. Eliza Wambolt. And Grace Wen. I would now like to introduce Mr. Paulides from the American Legion. And Joyce Hickey.
pleased, honored, and privileged to be here tonight on behalf of the American Legion to present these awards. With me is Miss Jackie Hickey, the Secretary-Treasurer of the Friends of Wareham Veterans, whose group judged these essays. Thank you.
I'm sorry. The essays were for the 100th anniversary of the American Legions, and they were asked to write an essay based on the principles of the American Legion, which were, they were patriotism, honor, leadership, community, service. And being a member of the committee, we were really impressed with these two essays. The third one is a senior, so they were gold, silver, and bronze. So the two tonight that we would like to honor and say thank you so much, they were very impressive, was Bryce Fernandez and Kyla Fulton. So this Bryce Fernandez isn't here.
You can say that. You can say Emily Glidden will receive hers next week.
And Emily Glidden will receive hers next week. She was the third. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Freitas will now introduce the Stone Scholarship.
We're going to switch things up a little bit. David and Deborah Stone, who usually present the scholarship, unfortunately could not be here. So being that this is Ms. Freitas' last underclassmen award ceremony, we're going to have her introduce the scholarship winner in a few minutes. Before I do that, I would like to recognize Jessica Stone, who is the granddaughter of the fine gentleman for who the scholarship is named after. She's a 2008 graduate of Brandeis University who went straight on to law school at Suffolk Law and graduated in 2011. She is an associate in the Boston office of Morrissey and Mahoney. She concentrates her practice in the area of tort and liability defense along with insurance fraud investigation. She represents insurance companies and their insured in a range of civil litigation matters, including automobile and premise liability insurance suits. Prior to joining Morrissey Mahoney, she served as an assistant district attorney for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. During her time with the DA's office, she supervised the prosecution of special victims cases in the district courts, coordinated multiple investigations with law enforcement that led to the filing of criminal charges, and presented matters to the grand jury for indictment. Please welcome Jessica Stone to the stage, and she's going to talk about Ms. Freitas a little bit before we present the Stephen A. Stone Scholarship. Thank you.
He makes me sound so impressive, doesn't he? So, as Mr. Palladino said, we're switching it up a little bit. Usually it's my privilege to announce the recipient of the Stone Scholarship Award, but given how involved Mrs. Freitas has been, we felt that it was appropriate for her to do it this year. So, as some of you may have read, in her recent interview with the Viking Times, Mrs. Freitas said that she wants to be remembered as someone who cared about her students and who tried to teach them not only academics, but how to live, how to be proud of themselves, and to know that anything worth doing sometimes takes a lot of effort, and to strive to be successful in whatever makes them happy. That passion and that drive to help students learn not only school subjects and academia, but how to be a better person has always defined who Mrs. Freitas is at her core to me and to my family. When my grandfather passed away 17 years ago, my father and his siblings approached the school with the general sense that they wanted to do a scholarship. My grandfather had been on the school board and had been president of the Boys and Girls Club. The education of the younger generations was something that he was always passionate about for his entire life. It seemed a fitting way to honor his memory to be able to assist in some small way a student at Wareham High School who might not otherwise have the opportunity to pursue a college education. Scott Palladino and the rest of the Wareham High School staff have helped hone the general idea into the reality that it is today. But it was Mrs. Freitas' contributions that I believe deserve special acknowledgement tonight. Like my grandfather, her dedication to and passion for education of all kinds defines who she is as a human being. Mrs. Freitas was instrumental in drumming up awareness and enthusiasm both amongst the teachers and the students for this scholarship. She encouraged teachers to single out students that they thought would be particularly appropriate candidates, and then it would help those students write and formulate their essays. It was Mrs. Freitas' idea to organize trips to local colleges for the sophomores and the juniors so that prospective applicants would get a sense of what a campus was, how to go about the application process, what questions to ask while on tour. And because of her and because of that idea, I truly believe that college became more than just an abstract goal for a lot of students, but became an attainable and a tangible reality. In large part through Mrs. Freitas' drive and vision, the scholarship is what it is today. While my family and I enjoy reading the applications each year, the selection of the recipient has always remained with the school. For the staff and the teachers that you see every day are the ones that know you best. Every year, Mrs. Freitas shares with us how difficult that final decision was. Every year, the pool of applicants is outstanding, with each and every applicant deserving a scholarship. At the end of the day, however, one applicant will emerge as the recipient. In years past, I have had the distinct pleasure of announcing that year's recipient of the Stephen A. Stone Scholarship Award. However, this year, it is only fitting that the woman whose vision and drive, along with that of Mr. Palladino and the rest of the committee, have that distinction, as she is unfortunately leaving us at the end of this school year. Please join me in welcoming Debbie Freitas.
First of all, I want to thank you, Jessica, and I want to thank you, Deborah Stone. I want to thank Deborah Stone, your aunt, and David Stone, your dad. Their generosity over the last 15 years has been incredible for our school and all of our students. Not only do we benefit from this amazing scholarship, hundreds of students every year are also able to experience learning outside of the classroom for dozens of field trips because of the commitment, are able to enjoy dozens of field trips because of your commitment to our town students. I am not sure I can live up to the wonderful speeches that you and your dad have given over the years, but I will try. David A. Stone loved the town of Wareham, and he lived here for many years. And while David was not born wealthy, he worked hard and was a successful businessman and did quite well for himself and his family. After all the successes, he still lives the town in which he grew up. And for that reason, he decided to give back to its young people in the best way that he knew how. He secretly gave money to a former principal to promote cultural awareness and to help students in financial need as they set off to college. When he passed away, his legacy was important to his family, which is why they are so generous in establishing this scholarship. When I think of the Stones' very apparent love for the town of Wareham and its residents, it reminds me of two things: the love that I have felt for this school and for all the students over the past 27 years I have worked here. The second thing that this reminds me of are the lyrics of a song written by my favorite music artist, Bruce Springsteen. and his song, A Long Walk Home. In the song, a father is addressing his son about the place where they both lived and grew up. The lines that mean the most to me in regards to thinking about Wareham and about this school are these. My father said, "Son, we're lucky in this town. It's a beautiful place to be born. It just wraps its arms around you. Nobody crowds you, and nobody goes it alone." Every time I hear those lyrics, I think of my school and I think of this town. We aren't perfect, but we respect each other, we help each other out, and we accept one another for all of our differences. It is truly a beautiful place to be born and to work. Many of our students have experienced hard times. I know because I see it every day, and I am fiercely reminded of it when I read the Stone Scholarship application letters every year. David knew it too. He knew there were students like this year's winner that took on responsibility for themselves as early as their freshman year, working more hours than any student should ever have to just to get by, or that they were driven to make something of themselves, to take courses that would challenge them while trying to balance the demands of school and work with the responsibility of looking out for and protecting her kid sister while still a kid herself. David knew that there were students like this year's winner that appeared strong and smiling in public, no matter what they were struggling with to survive day to day. David knew that there were students that would try to do it all despite their circumstances, join the girls' volleyball team, become one of the school's cheerleaders, and apply to be a dual enrollment student at Bridgewater State College next year. I won't share more of her story because it's simply too personal. Her dean and the Stone Committee members agree. Janaea is the epitome of what the Stone family had in mind, of what the scholarship in memory of their dad. Wareham, please wrap your arms around this year's winner, Miss Gianna Fonseca, for a big applause.
Thank you all for attending our ceremony this evening. Parents and grandparents, your teens' achievement truly is a testament of your support and encouragement. Before we close, the Academic Awards Committee would like to express our appreciation and gratitude to someone who is an essential component of the program. Please help show our appreciation to our pianist, Grace Bergioli. Thank you.